Alright, boys, if you thought Milim broke the game and she was the most broken collab character, whatever, you're about to see something that is about a million times more disgusting. And I'm not saying this to hype up the new collab, new equal hype, and the best thing ever. I'm saying this because this looks like it's going to be the best team until 2027, which is all that collab team, the full collab team, right? Let's go over Beru first. So it's Beru, Chehe, and Sunjin Woo, right? So let's start with Beru first, okay? Because Beru is an unknown. He's a blue unknown, but when placing battle with a dark attribute character, you'll be granted the additional human race. So he counts as human, which Chehe and Sunjin Woo, obviously they count as human. Right, and then 50% basic stats, classic, right? He also works as unknown. He's from the cook with unknown. He also works as unknown. But at the start of battle, grant yourself predation for 2 turns and taunt for 1 turn, okay? So he taunts, and he gives himself attack rate stats. When you use 2 single attack skills on your ally's turn, you'll be granted a taunt effect for 1 turn. Okay, so you can refresh the taunt every time by using 2 single targets on your team. When you're being devoured and when you're being killed, right? They use funny terminology because they're slick. And your HP falls below 1 HP during the enemy turn. When you were going to die, you actually don't die and you recover all your HP. And then for 3 turns, you get 30% attack rate stats, 80% crit damage, and you can wait, up to a maximum of 2. Oh wait, this happens twice? I thought this happened once. Okay, so twice you cannot die. What? Okay. When the predation effect on you is lifted, so when this goes away after 2 turns, or you get killed, you get ability drain, which 7% all stats and single target damage plus 35. And you can get it up to 3 times, right? Which in PvE you'll see that's not really in PvP. Actually, if you die, you get this. You die again, you get this. Actually, you might see this in PvP too, honestly. It's disgusting. And when you kill someone, you heal for half your HP. Now, his cards are... oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no, something else. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, he has a triple pierce, double crit damage. This might be what the most disgusting single target damage-wise ever. But then he also has Fleeting Claw, increases your base stats by 7% for no reason, and inflicts Amplify damage as well, which he gets a ton of buffs. All right, I'm going to show you gameplay in a second as well. His ult, whatever, and his passive is each time your HP reaches maximum, you'll receive a 40% damage reduction effect for 2 turns. This is nice effect, Red Tarmiel, and then it's your turn, you hit, you heal with enough lifesteal. I don't know if they show his lifesteal. He has lifesteal. Okay, he has good lifesteal. That's fine. Now let's talk about Chehe, because she is alpha, but honestly more disgusting. So we all know alpha has like the most disgusting single target. You build up her 3 swords, you single target, it does 1,000,000 damage, they fall over. See ya. She has it if everyone's a human. She gets 1 fragment of honor at the start of the battle, and she gets a debuff notification for 1 turn, which this is useless. The debuff notification, it's fairly useless. But anyway, Fragment of Honor, critical damage plus 6% can be stacked up to 4 times. When a human ally uses a single target attacks during an ally turn, grant yourself Fragment of Honor. Okay, so that's how you stack them. Each time you receive a Fragment of Honor, the basic stats of your human's allies will increase by 7% up to 3 times. So she also gives 21% base stats to allies. You'll get the stack very quickly. The team is not a super single target team, but it's fairly single target. It's like an 80-20, like a 75-25 single target AoE. But Sunjin Woo's AoE is Milim AoE, but it also infects, and it's disgusting, and you'll see it. It's actually just so stupid, and why does it exist? And why does he do what he does? When a number of honorable fragments on yourself reach a maximum, which is 4, they are removed, and you're granted the honorable sword for 3 turns. Sword of Honor, attack rate stats plus 30%, and double damage on single target attacks. When your HP is 100%, you will avoid AoE attacks. And when you avoid an AoE attack, you get a Fragment of Honor. Turn 1, the unknown team does Hell double AoE, or like Hell AoE, Milim Infect, Merlin Infect, Milim AoE. She does not take damage. She just evades it. This is not a 1/3 thing. She just as long as she's full HP, she does not take damage from AoEs. So how do you damage her? Single targets. What does this guy do? Taunt. So can you single target her? No. So she is invincible as long as this guy is on the field. That's disgusting. Okay? Her cards are, she does lightspeed damage, which is double crit chance, 40% more damage for each honorable fragment, which gives her crit damage. And when you use a skill while you're under honorable sword, your crit damage is doubled to make up for the crit damage you lose here. But this is disgusting, actually so disgusting. And then her skill 2 is buff removal against the unknown team and against DN, just to make it even easier to win against those teams, which they already will be shitting on every team until 2027 anyway. Give yourself her ultimate is just her single target, but she gets fragments, and her holy relic is 15% basic stats for the team. Pretty cool. Now let's talk about this disgusting mess of a character. This absolute disgusting mess. 76 KCC is pretty good. So he gives grant all enemies murderous aura for 2 turns and grant monarch's domain to yourself for 3 turns. Okay, murderous intent, all statuses minus 10%. I'm not too sure on this. Like all stats minus 10% on the enemies, right? And then damage taken plus 15%, right? So that's what the enemies get, which if we go to when they absolutely just rolled enemies, it's these eyes, right? The unarmed team gets this. They take 50% more damage now, and all their stats lower by 10%. That's pretty disgusting by itself. Now, this marks the main that you see around them. It gives him, makes it so he does 8% of his maximum HP to all enemies, and also 50% basic stats for humans, and they take 30% less damage. Why not? And it's not battle or when you use a skill to inflict damage to an enemy, your character level will increase. He levels up when he fights by 3 for each enemy hit. And every time you increase by 10 levels, you will receive a 50% damage reduction for 1 turn. And you can level up to 100. And it resets when you finish the fight, obviously. That's for like the demonic beast, I assume. And then for each level up also, 4% damage dealt and basic stats up by 1 up to level 30. Okay, so 120 damage dealt and 30% basic stats. I mean, that's still disgusting. In PvE, this guy's gonna absolutely cook. And getting level 30 is essentially just 4 cards, right? It's 4 AoEs or 3 AoEs and 1 single target. So 4 cards on average, or like always. Because you get 9 if you do an AoE and you get 3 for a single target. Okay? When you use a skill, the enemy is... When you use a skill, the enemy is inflicted with gives the killing effect and inflicts killing debuff on enemies. I don't know what that means. But when you deal damage using attack skill, you deal additional damage to 50% of the final damage to the dealt to the enemy. He has Milim AoE. Like, he has the thing that Milim has. He has... Actually, I think Milim is less. Isn't Milim's 30? I think it is. It might not be. It might be 50 as well. Whatever. He does his AoE. Shing, shing, shing. Kills everyone. Or like, it does 5 million damage. And then it pops again. 7.5 million. Okay? During the enemy's turn, if enemy are under murderous intent debuff and they use an AoE, he takes 40% less damage. And when they single target him, it's only available. I assume this is talking about him, and this is some sort of crazy translation. Now let's watch it in action. Okay, so they just took damage, right? They just took the damage from him, just 8% of his health. Now his AoE is Infect. It applies the Infect before it hits. Oh wait, I didn't talk about his cards. I'm sorry. His single target is Triple Pierce and Cleave. Have you read a card that does more damage than this? I don't think I have. And then his AoE, have you read a card that's more broken than this? Because I don't think I have. It's AoE and it's AoE Infect and Weak Point. Hello? So it's triple damage and they can't heal. It's the best debuff in the game, and then it's also Weak Point. Like the strongest AoE, or like one of the strongest damage effects you can do because it's triple damage. Hello? His ult is just is it a single target? It is yeah, it's a single target, but AoE, right? Which is a classic nowadays. And then his relic is 50% basic stats for himself, and if an ally dies, he gets 10% all stats up to 3 times. And then for each murder intent debuff on an enemy, he takes 10% less damage. Now let's watch this. Right, he does the AoE. They're all weak pointed already, right? So it's weak point and infect. Okay, so 570k. He has not leveled up at all yet. Okay. He then levels up. You see level up. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And then it does damage again. 850k. They're dead. He does a single target because he didn't think he'd actually killed here. Okay. So he does a single target. 350k. Oh, it does damage again. Milim only on AoEs. This guy on single target as well. Because it's on every skill he does. And then Chai hits with the buff removal, right? Kills him. That's pretty good. So now they can remove Beru buff. So they want to do AoEs now. Because they only have 1 single target. So they'll do their AoEs now. And guess what? Chahe can't take damage. She's not taking damage from this. And this guy's super tanky. This guy's really tanky as well. Because they have so much damage reduction going on. And this guy dies. Oh no. Oh wait, he doesn't actually die. He can't die. Twice. So they could hit him again. He wouldn't die. Okay, so now it's their turn. Now they use her card, right? Which does 1 million damage. Because she had the Swords of Fragment. The Fragment of Swords thingies, right? And Beru hits, but he hits damage cap. So you're like, okay, maybe Beru is just a tank. He doesn't do that much damage. And then he uses his Amplify card. And this guy has so many buffs because he gets so many from everything that no, he does do damage. And he has good lifesteal. This would full heal him if he wasn't infected, okay? Then Hell does a really funny thing where she hits him, but he can't die. Lol. So he's just full HP now. And he's just chilling. And he has all these buffs. And then 91k attack, also the crit damage and crit chance. And on this card, type disadvantage, by the way, which matters a whole lot for damage. Boom. So yeah, Collab is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to be posting patches in a minute as well. But yeah, they are disgustingly broken. Stupid. Good job.